Back in the house with a 9-4.
You did good, sir.
I feel like Princess Peach, rose gold on my Mercedes. Rose gold on my bitch, looking like her name Mercedes. I need a hoe who down on them eyes, what up ladies? Switched out the friendly smile, but the face that reads, fuck you pay me. Ain't got rabies, I just overdose off coke, and if I know, they hope I die.
It's barely week 2, and I guess we already have our first depressing episode because we've had a pretty shitty weekend football-wise. My name is XiX from XiX Sports Network. We have
Ethan from Mistaken for Bacon.
We are back with another episode of XiX Pick Em Week 3 edition. Now, last week we had a special guest, as in Thrash. He is not here today, but we have another special guest. He is actually one of my little buddies that I've met in the wrestling world. Someone that actually used to be my former partner. PWL color commentator Nate Rivers.
Rocking the Falcons merch as usual. Yes, my depression is fucking heavy.
Alright, go for it. Welcome to the show. We need to name this place, low-key thing.
So we still need a name, so.
Well,
Smokehouse?
I think we just kind of just stuck with pick 'em, I guess, for the episodes.
For the time
Anyways,
being.
but as we're doing this episode, Falcons are actually playing the Eagles. What's your confidence on that game so far?
I lost confidence in the Falcons at this point, man. I keep it real with them. I'm first one's criticize them, first one's to praise them. Yeah, I lost all confidence.
All right, now before we start talking about NFL, though, I always love to talk about college football. Nate, who's your favorite college football team?
Texas, bro, Texas.
I agree. Now, Texas actually did play UTSA, and a game that seemed like it was going to be a little bit scary, something that was going to seem like it was going to change the season. Quinn Ewers went down with an abdominal strain. Arch Manning? Is it Arch?
Arch Manning.
I always fuck up his name.
Second coming of Jesus Christ.
Arch Manning went in first play, threw a freaking long bomb for a touchdown. After that, they just murdered the fucking UTSA Roadrunners. What you think of the game?
It was fucking great, man. Arch Manning, like I said, the second coming of Jesus Christ.
And then after that, your Michigan Wolverines actually played Arkansas State. I believe you said it was an FCS school, right?
Actually, I checked
after
it, and it's not. It's just.
I fucking knew it. I told you. Last episode, I was looking at it. I'm going to put it in this clip, too. I'm like, last time I was...
You know, hopefully they can take some things from that game and just apply it to the rest of the year.
Wait, is Arkansas like a FBS school?
FCS, yeah, Arkansas State, the Red Wolves.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel like looking up. All right. I'm thinking, like, it's not a fuck FCS school.
It's not.
But they beat up 28-18. Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game. I watched quite a bit of it. Yeah, I mean, it was just a solid win. Obviously, it didn't look as good as last year. But quarterback play, definitely not the best. But so, he threw 3 interceptions, our quarterback, Davis Warren. So, I'm kind of surprised we won. They need to start the backup, Alex Orgy. I don't know what's going on there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, you're a big orgy guy.
His bro's name actually Orgy. That's fucking
His
insane.
name's actually
That's
Orgy.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What's his full name?
Alex Orgy.
Alex Orgy.
That's
Last time we were
insane.
playing,
That's
okay.
insane.
After the last episode, I said Thrash, Ethan, and I, and Steele were gonna do a college football tournament, and we were playing. Was it the Michigan versus Texas game, or was it Michigan versus your Theo?
I think it was Michigan versus Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So we played. Our first game was Michigan versus Texas, and Orgy freaking scored a 80-yard pass rush or a rushing touchdown on me. Don't ask. But the whole time he just screamed, "Or!" I don't even want to say it, bro. It was something else. But Michigan ended up winning. UTEP actually played CUSA rival Liberty.
We don't talk about that.
They lost again. Yeah, they lost again. And I don't know. Now it just seems like it's getting scary. We'll talk about who they're gonna go against later. But now, like, they did put up a good fight against Southern Utah. Yes, it's another FCS school. And then, should I forget how to say it? Well, I don't know. UTEP's already down 0-3, 28-10. I don't want to make excuses for UTEP anymore, but only putting up 10 points, with Liberty putting up another 28, looking bad already. Is this pretty concerning for Scotty Walden, or do you think it's just tough for beginning UTEP?
I think it's just because it's first year. He's gonna get the growing pains out the way next year. Next year, I think will be the deciding one of how it goes with him.
Makes sense. And then last but not least, I don't know why I haven't brought it up yet. This is actually Ethan's favorite college football team, I guess you could say locally. NMSU played Fresno State, and it's kind of sad that we had to debut them like this because they lost 48-0. But what happened in that game, Ethan?
So essentially, it was just like outmatched, really. Honestly, we got our asses kicked, plain and simple. I think they're still a solid team, but not against the big boys. That's not really even a big school, but I guess one of the bigger schools.
more competitive in football. Wasn't really a great showing there. But,
Pac-12 come 2026.
I don't know. It just seemed, and as it is, we're only talking about college football, but it seems like this week was just awkward to begin with. We haven't even talked about NFL yet, but like I said, NMSU didn't even score a single point against Fresno State. The UTEP struggled against Liberty. Michigan barely squeaked past the win. The only team that actually did pretty good, for at least amongst our favorite teams, was our Texas Longhorns, which are now ranked number 1 actually, which is looking pretty good for the Longhorns. So, like I had mentioned, the week 2 result, or in college football, is kind of a wonky week. I feel like, me personally, I think week 2 was a wonky week. Not excusing my Cowboys, no, they just plain simple got their ass kicked. But
Fuck the Cowboys, by the way. I just speak
and week 2 seemed like it was just upsets for everybody else, as well as your Rams too, Ethan. Your Rams also got clapped.
unfortunately.
Yeah, today's episode was just not exciting to shoot, but here we are. Now, for the standings, though. Now, before that, for the week 1, I actually won. I ended up going 12-4. Ethan went 11-5. Last week we had Thrash. I almost said his real name. Last week we had Thrash. Thrash is a part of it. Too bad he sucked complete ass because he's actually in last place. Ethan, so far, as of this recorded, because the Eagles-Falcons game is playing, Ethan is at 8-7. I am at 7-8. And Thrash is at 6-9, which makes sense. That is a very record that Thrash would fucking get.
Yep.
But Ethan wins this week, and I'm sure at this point he's probably now in first place. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
My thoughts are that, week 2 was honestly kind of a crazy week in terms of upsets. So I'm kind of happy that that my picks have been a little bit more impressive. I do try to pick some upsets and stuff, but it is hard to pick these games, you know what I mean? Because anything can happen in the NFL. As they say, any given Sunday, So we'll just try to keep it rolling. This is really fun to do. I really appreciate you for having me on here as a co-host. And,
This is really fun to do. I love doing these.
So yeah, let's keep it rolling.
I love having the special guest too. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good idea on my part. I was excited to have Nate here because Nate wait, not to shit on Thrash. I love Thrash. Thrash though is he's not that into football to have a long conversation like this. So I know he kind of struggled last week, but Nate I feel like can outsmart maybe not him, but maybe me low key in the football aspect. So I'm excited to have you here too. Plus it's been a while since I get to see you now, so.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to have a little conversation, but
I'm a small commentary partner, man.
but for the week 2 results, and of course on NFL Mobile, it's gonna come up first because it's my favorite team. The Saints clapped the fuck out of the Cowboys, 44-19. As of this recording, Eagles are up against the Falcons 7-6 at halftime. The Bills clapped the Dolphins 31-10. And actually in that game, we saw Tua once again come down with the concussion protocol. What are your thoughts on that? What do you guys think Tua should go next?
I think he's got to retire, man. He's had too much at a very young career. Look how it affected Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck retired early. It's benefiting him. Tua's got to do the same, man.
It's a pretty fair point. You, Ethan?
I think he's got to take some time off. I think he wants to keep playing. You know what I mean? I know it's rough. It's probably a rough decision for him, for sure. You know what I mean? After all that he's done in his career. But for now, I think he should just maybe take the season off or some time off, depending on how severe the concussion is. They haven't really disclosed that yet. But yeah, just take some time off, focus on himself, and yeah, I hope he feels, he's in his my best prayers to him, really.
Yeah, of course, prayers to Tua, but that is pretty scary, especially because the way that his body reacts every time he gets these concussions, it looks scary and scary and scary. I feel like, yeah, I probably agree with Ethan. He's a football player. Football players are stubborn. They're gonna want to keep playing. So I guess just take time off for now. Maybe a little bit extra, more couple weeks than the regulated concussion weekly that you're supposed to take. But I don't know. Who is the Dolphins' backup? Is it still Skylar Thompson?
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson. I mean, it looks rough for the Dolphins. We don't know how Skylar Thompson can play. He does have a high-powered offense, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry for Tua. But to continue with the week 2 results, Raiders shocked the Ravens, beating them 26-23. Chargers beat the crap out of the Panthers and actually announced today Bryce Young got benched. Andy Dalton's going to step in. Buccaneers defeat the Lions. Packers defeat the Colts with Malik Willis' debut as a Packer. Browns defeat Jaguars after looking bad in week 1. Vikings shock the 49ers, defeating them 23-17. Seahawks defeat the Patriots. Jets defeat Titans. Commanders defeat Giants, and I'm laughing because that's the game where the Commanders only scored field goals, and the Giants actually scored 3 touchdowns, but apparently I guess their kicker's hurt, so they couldn't kick the extra point, and they still managed to lose. I shouldn't be talking shit because my Cowboys got clapped, but
That's
still,
the Giants
like.
for you, man. Giants don't know the fucking difference between a landfill and winning a football game.
And then I hate to announce this one. Cardinals beat the fuck out of the Rams, 41-10.
Unfortunately.
We'll talk about it later.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. And then Steelers beat the Broncos. Looks to seem like a boring game, 13-6. Chiefs beat the Bengals, and I watched that game. That game was actually a really good game.
And then casual refs always have 13 inches deep in their mouth with the Chiefs.
And then the Texans defeat the Bears. C.J. Stroud obviously looking a little bit better than Caleb Williams. I believe Caleb Williams, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, having another bad showing.
Very rough.
But I think everybody could agree that this was a weird ass week. A very frustrating ass week.
That's the glory of the NFL, man. You never know what you're gonna get. You could get something good, you could get something bad, or you could just get something you completely despise the rest of your life.
And then, as for our results and on the picks that we got wrong, starting with the same ones that we all collectively got wrong, this is including Ethan and Thrash. We all got the Ravens versus Raiders wrong, which I think that one can agree that was just a fucking shocker.
Huge upset.
Bucks versus Lions wrong, which that one, I feel like that was a toss-up, low-key. But I think we just all coincidentally just picked the Lions.
Yeah.
They lost. And then the Jaguars versus Browns game, I don't know, man. Jaguars aren't looking good. Jaguars, of course, taking on the Browns.
Questionable, man. Questionable. Trevor Lawrence, great year a couple years ago. After that, he just hasn't been the same, man. It's bringing them all down.
And then after that, we got the Rams versus Cardinals game.
So, for this game, I think the injuries just caught up to us, and I think the Cardinals look a little bit more legitimate than a lot of people think that they would this year. Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, having, I feel like, an iconic game against us. I think he had like 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's insane. Absolutely burned us. We have too many injuries, and we gotta figure some things out. I'm glad it happens now. Early on in the year. Obviously, 0-2 isn't the way you want to start, but the way I look at it is that there's a couple other teams that are 0-2, like the Ravens, as we previously mentioned, and the Bengals, who are also other Super Bowl contenders. Not saying we're a Super Bowl contender, but you know what I mean. Like it's a positive way to look at things. So definitely a rough loss, but I do give them their props. They look pretty good, heading into week 3.
And then the games that you got wrong were the Colts versus Packers, 49ers versus... Wait. Oh, no. No, I'm on the right track. Sorry. 49ers versus Vikings, and then Patriots versus Seahawks. What happened there, man?
So, in the Patriots versus Seahawks, I think I try to pick more of an upset there. The Patriots almost won that game.
They did almost win that game.
So I do like the Patriots going into the season. They look pretty good. Jacob Brissett and the new coaching staff there in New England. They look pretty solid out there. With the Vikings and the 49ers, I just thought that the 49ers, had this game easily, but it turns out that the Vikings, they look pretty good with just Sam Darnold back there.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are eating you up.
Yeah,
the mosquitoes whoop our ass this year. Well, continue.
Sam Darnold threw a deep touchdown to Justin Jefferson. It was beautiful. I was watching that game, you know what I mean? I don't mind getting my pick wrong against the Niners, you know what I mean?
I have no idea what the hell's up with Sam Darnold, man. It's a phase with him. He's good, and then he sucks ass. Then he's good again. It's just rinse and repeat with him, man.
So, yeah, for that game, I wanted to pick the Niners because I thought they had it easily, but looks like the loss of CMC is kind of maybe getting in Purdy's head or just the offense's head a little bit.
You're telling me, man, my fantasy team is suffering.
All my fantasy did horrible. I lost to this fool, actually. And then, what else? Anything else, bro? We got the Patriots. The Colts-Packers game?
Colts and Packers game. I thought that Anthony Richardson was going to go into Green Bay and have himself the game of his life. I was wrong. The Packers look pretty decent with Malik Willis back there.
Yeah.
I feel like the Packers, even before the year, were a Super Bowl contender to me, personally. A lot of people think, the same. And they're just keeping the train rolling without Jordan Love here, you know what I mean? They're going to have him back within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I just see them, they're not panicking is what they're doing, you know what I mean? And they're just executing well with Malik Willis back there. I think they're going to be okay.
And then, for me, the games that I got wrong were the Dolphins versus Bills, also the Colts versus Packers, also the 49ers versus Vikings, and my Cowboys versus Saints. Dolphins versus Bills, I feel like the Dolphins offense are one of the more exciting offenses, and they're one of the more exciting offenses I want to see succeed. They're a fast-powered offense, always throwing deep balls. That's exciting to see. Too bad they did not do that versus the Bills. And then again, as we mentioned earlier, 2 ended up getting hurt. Bills clapped them. I guess anything. Fuck, damn, bro, you good?
I'm trying to kill these damn mosquitoes, man. All right.
And then Bills ended up clapping Dolphins. Packers versus Colts, same thing. I just thought Malik Willis wasn't just gonna click right away with the Packers offense, not counting him out. It's just, you know what, like maybe like the first game day jitters or something like that. Proved me wrong, ended up winning. Same thing that Ethan said, 49ers versus Vikings. Vikings are just kind of shocking us. We doubted them at first. Sam Darnold's kind of throwing our words in our mouth right now. Don't want to talk about Cowboys versus Saints. But Cowboys versus Saints, I really had that matchup as a toss-up because both offenses were high-powered. But I don't know what the fuck happened to the Cowboys that day.
It's mainly the Saints, man. I don't know what the Saints are on. I don't know if their coaches are injecting with steroids, cocaine. I don't know what the hell it is. But Saints are all over the place, man.
I feel like it's both. I feel like the Saints offense are proving that they're one of the more the underdogs. Nobody really like said anything about the Saints offense. Nobody really had an excitement for the Saints offense. But in 2 games, the first game was against the Panthers. So a lot of people still kind of had their doubts because it's the Panthers. They fucking suck. But 47 points is still impressive. And then they beat the shit out of my Cowboys. But it proves that they are a team not to be messed with. But I also feel like it proves that the Cowboys just need. I feel like it's just coaching at this point. The defense looks so much like ass. I've seen so many missed tackles, as well as Saints just having a high-powered offense. It was a humbling game for the Cowboys, but it was also a statement game from the Saints.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that just New Orleans, is a lot more high-powered than a lot of people thought they were. It was just the changing of offensive schemes and coordinators. So I think they look really impressive. That's all I can say.
After the, I posted on XiX. After the 70-yard bomb I don't know if it was 70-yard, but the bomb to Shaheed, I said to the group chat we're all in, I said I feel like Drake and Kendrick dropped me to grams because that was just so bad. After that,
a bullet to the heart, man. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, after that, because usually I usually get passionate, when the games I do yell and shit. But when I saw that freaking pass, I just kind of slumped and I was just like. I just watched the rest of the game like that because there was just after the CD touchdown, I got excited because that touchdown. You know what it reminded me of, and it felt nostalgic for me because the whole reason for 19, the whole XiX thing is because of Miles Austin. He's one of my favorite Cowboys players ever.
Oh, this shit keeps flying by my ear, man.
one of the more mediocre players from the Cowboys history, but he's a childhood favorite of mine. He did the same play against the Chiefs in the overtime, and he ended up winning. That one ended up being the game-winning play. And CD did the same thing. I'll probably post it on XiX somehow. It kind of felt dope for me and nostalgic, and then Saints shit the bed with that one, and they fucking murked us after that. Other than that, for Thrash's picks that he got wrong, of course, he's not here to address them. He also got Dolphins versus Bills wrong. He got Chargers versus Panthers wrong, which I didn't want to tell him at the episode, but I don't know why the fuck he picked the Panthers to win. And then 49ers versus Vikings wrong. That was okay. Cowboys versus Saints wrong. Whatever. And then
Pretty sure everyone in existence got that wrong unless they're a Saints fan.
yeah, probably. And then the Steelers versus Broncos game, which I said earlier seemed like a boring game. But yeah, Thrash ended up in last place though. Let's see how you do. I feel like you have a chance of being first place. Me and Ethan already been first place once.
I'm just saying, man, I won your fantasy league. I could win picks this week.
That's true. He's won. Yeah, he's won. I think you're the first one now.
First one, yep.
Yeah, he was the first one to win the
And then
fantasy
homeless
league.
man Albert.
And then Albert won the next one. And then now we're on a third one. This week I'm taking it serious, but before the Eagles game, I saw the news that A.J. Brown was out, but I forgot to switch him out because I was working. And then I barely remembered, during the Sunday Night Football game. And then after that, I was cooked. Starting off Thursday Night Football, we have the shockingly 2-0, or no, 1-1 or 2-0 Patriots?
Either 1-1.
1-1. Okay, the 1-1 Patriots taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Thursday Night Football, AFC East Division rivals. Nate, you want to start off with this?
Honestly, I got the Jets, man. I like the way the Jets are looking. I think Aaron Rodgers looks healthy. The defense is great. The Patriots offense is there, but it's still a little bit questionable. So I feel like the Jets defense will be able to stuff them, especially Sauce Gardner at the cornerback. Insane, man. I got the Jets.
You, Ethan?
So for me, I also got to go with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorite players in the league. You know what I mean? He's crazy, that guy. I am high on the Patriots, like I've said it earlier, but I do think that for this game, it's going to be in JetLife Stadium. I think the Jets are going to, come out and have a really good game. Primetime debut for Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, so I think they're going to get the win against the Patriots.
Last primetime,
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, well.
You know what I mean?
Last primetime, 4 plays in, he ruptured his Achilles.
And I feel like when we all pick the same teams, I feel like we have bad luck. So hopefully the Patriots don't end up winning. But also going to agree with the Jets as well. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like more. I always say it, veteran aspect. I just trust veterans more. Aaron Rodgers is one hell of a veteran, one of the more great quarterbacks in the league. I got the Jets taking this one easily. Do you think the Patriots are low key sneakily good team, or do you think like some fluke games
I
the
don't
past
think
2 weeks?
I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're good out there. I think they're just like right in the median.
I
That's
think they're
pretty fair.
definitely a team that is improving, and it's gonna be. I think they're like it's gonna be a sleeper team, you know, a sleeper playoff contender, I believe. Nothing special, no Super Bowl aspirations, you know what I mean. But as of right now, I feel like they look like a sleeper team.
Bro, stop twitching, bro.
Dude, blame these fucking mosquitoes, man. This shit gets landing on my ears, my nose, everything, man.
Okay, and then starting off our Sunday slate, we have the Denver Broncos traveling down to Raymond James Stadium to take on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Go ahead, Nate, since it's your NFC South Division rival.
As much as I hate the Bucks, man, the Broncos haven't been looking the greatest. Bucks have been looking promising, so I'm taking the Bucks on this one.
Pretty fair. Ethan?
So for me, I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the Buccaneers. You know, Denver, like you said, they haven't been looking great at all. I don't think there's any reason that anybody should pick them as of right now. Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, okay, this is our second team where we both. This is the second game where we all picked the same team. Broncos versus Bucks. Yeah, pretty fair. I remember the first week you had said that you were pretty high on Bo Nix, but the first game he struggled.
Yeah.
The second game he actually kept up. What did the Broncos play second week?
I believe
Steelers.
Seahawks.
No, they played the Steelers.
Seahawks,
Seahawks
yeah.
was the first game.
You're right.
Well, it was a 13-6 game. I didn't watch the game.
You struggled.
I'm pretty sure it's a defensive standpoint.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, you know, they have that defense there, and the Steelers offense didn't look too great either, but you know they pulled up the win there. So.
And so I feel like this is an easy win. I'm gonna go ahead and pick with the Bucks. Up next, most part, oh, it's embarrassing. The New York Giants taking on the Cleveland Browns.
I feel like that one's unanimous no matter what. Unless Daniel Jones turns back 2 years and pops off again, which for some reason he was fucking good 2 years ago. If he doesn't do that, Browns are winning. Browns at least have some talent enough to beat the Giants. If they don't, then we gotta have some serious talks about everything, man.
You Ethan?
I gotta agree with him. You know what I mean? The Giants just haven't really had anything to look forward to.
Got his ass.
Unless maybe you have Malik Neighbors on your fantasy team. You know, he had 28 points against the Commanders this recent week. They do have, you know, some building blocks, I think, but as long as Daniel Jones is there, I don't think they're going to succeed in any way. I have to take the Browns. You know, they're looking pretty good, you know, but despite that week 1 loss against the Cowboys. So we're going to go ahead and take the Browns.
Yeah, I feel like this one's easy. I feel like the Giants are low-key kind of on the same level as the Panthers. They're just going to be one of those teams where nobody's going to give a shit about them. They're just having one of those rough years. Browns should take it easily, but I feel like low-key is going to be like an embarrassing game, like a 19-3.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like Browns will get at least 1 touchdown or 2. Deshaun Watson probably sneak away on 1 good run, maybe.
Probably.
Maybe a good pass to Amari Cooper. Who knows?
And then up next we have the Chicago Bears taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
This one I feel is like the biggest toss-up possible. If the Bears offense doesn't do something and put it together, Colts will run away with it easily. But if Bears finally put it together and Caleb Williams goes to his college shelf, then yeah, Bears will take it. But right now I got the Colts because I'm not positive in that happening.
You Ethan?
I got to agree with him. You know, my guy Anthony Richardson threw 3 interceptions in Green Bay last week. Rough outing, but like you said, you know, the Bears, I think, have some rough spots on both sides of the ball. The defense is a little bit better, a little bit harder. But I do think that, you know, the Colts are going to want to have, you know, a get-back game this week. And I think that Caleb Williams might continue to have some, you know, some freshman struggles. You know, he hasn't been looking the greatest. You know, no touchdowns going into week 3. So I'm going to have to go ahead and take Indianapolis. I believe that game is in Indianapolis. So
Yeah, it's in Indianapolis.
I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Colts there.
Damn, this is another game where we're all picking the same. I also got the Colts. Caleb Williams looks like shit. Simple as that. He looks like shit. He like you said, no touchdowns, but he has to have like 5 interceptions at this point?
Yeah,
He looks fucking rough. I trust Anthony Richardson. And at first, when Ethan said it that Anthony Richardson was gonna be good, I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And low key, I'm starting to see it. Maybe he struggled against the Packers game, but that first game against the Texans was low key a barn burner. I got the Colts taking this one. Up next, we got Houston, Texas taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
This one could go either way as well. Vikings have been something else this past weeks, but the Texans are still as good as they were last year. So I feel like Texans might sneak away with it, but I'm not counting out the Vikings, as I do think it could be a close game.
You Ethan?
I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Vikings here. I guess it's a little bit of an upset. I don't think it's an upset. I think that, you know, the Texans, they look good, but I don't think they look as explosive as I thought they would be. Maybe they'll lean more into that in the coming weeks. I think that the Vikings, you know, they're on this little, like, this beginning of the season run that some teams go on, you know what I mean? So I want to see where it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings for this one.
That's actually a real wild pick. Again, I said it before. I love C.J. Stroud. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I got the Texans taking this one. Vikings look good, so maybe they'll put up a good game. Maybe it'll be close down the wire, 20-24, maybe 28-24 score, maybe. But I got C.J. Stroud taking this one. Up next, we got my sole beloved division rival, Philadelphia Eagles, who are currently playing against his Atlanta Falcons, taking on the New Orleans Saints. You want to go ahead and take the pick, Ethan?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know what to think about this, man. It's Saints. I don't know what the hell they're on. Like I said earlier, so I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna go with the Saints. As much as I hate myself for saying it, I'm gonna go with the Saints.
You either.
Me, I'm gonna have to also go with the Saints too. You know, I think that they look explosive, man. You know, the offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is over there doing great things for them. It's gonna be a close game, I think. I think Philadelphia. Well, it depends on how Philadelphia shows up that game. You know, sometimes they show up a little bit rough.
Yeah.
But I do think that New Orleans, in the end, close or blowout, they're gonna take it. So.
As it stands right now, Eagles are winning 10-9 over the Falcons, so it can go either way. But then again, the Falcons' defense has been the only good thing about the damn team.
So for me, I feel like I'm gonna go. I'm picking the Saints more on a manifestation thing. Cowboys got fucking humbled against the Saints, and low-key it has me kind of worried. I think low-key I'm kind of overthinking it. Cowboys always have like that one weird-ass humbling game. Last year it was against the Cardinals. I guess this year it's gonna be against the Saints, but it was pretty scary. But I'm gonna pick the Saints to take the win on this one. I need the Eagles to lose as many times as possible. They're not gonna lose against the Falcons today, but I have a good feeling that the Saints will be able to take them on. Up next, we got the Chargers versus Steelers.
This one's close. Both of them had their ups. They had their downs. Justin Herbert's looking as great as ever, even working on a hurt foot. So honestly, and Steelers offense not that great. Defense, yeah. So I feel like that might be a good defensive standpoint. But I feel like Chargers might be able to get in a good couple touchdowns and steal it.
So you got the Chargers?
Yeah.
You Ethan?
So for me, it's in Pittsburgh. They usually play pretty good in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? That defense looks pretty tough. I do think that the offense looks really, really rough right now. Hopefully they get it together for them. So for right now, I do think the Chargers look like a good team, but I think that just Pittsburgh is just a different environment, for a lot of teams playing. So yeah. I'm gonna have to take the Steelers for this week.
You're gonna take the Steelers, okay. For this one, I don't know. Steelers don't look. I hate talking down on the Steelers because of Rich. Again, I'm probably gonna mention Rich a lot because Rich and I do talk about football. He's a fucking hater. He's a fucking hater. And I don't want to talk down.
Rich has his reasons.
Yeah, I guess. But, Rich, I love Rich. I don't believe in the Steelers being a good team, though. And it's probably going to bite me in the ass because Cowboys play them later this year. But I do got the Chargers taking this one. I do trust Justin Herbert. Look, I like Justin Herbert. I feel like a lot of people are kind of shitting on him a little too hard. I feel like, I don't know, it was bad coaching before. Yeah, it's hardball. I feel like they need to give him more of a chance, but I got the Chargers taking this one. Up next, we got Malik Willis and the Packers taking on his former team in the Titans.
This one's also close because both teams have proven to be solid, but Will Levis keeps having just a bunch of controversial fuck-ups that keep taking it away. And with how good the Packers' defense has been playing, I feel like the Packers will take it for that reason.
You know?
I gotta agree with what he's saying. You know what I mean? The Packers' defense looks solid. Like I said, I think they're a Super Bowl contender for sure when Jordan Love comes back. They got Malik Willis into that system pretty quickly, and he's already showing some promise. Just for being a backup. You know what I mean? So I think the Titans aren't really that impressive of a team this year. I think I said that earlier in the year. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the Packers in this one.
Yeah, Titans. Fucking week 1, I had picked the Titans to win, to beat the Bears, and they blew the fucking lead. But yeah, I'm have to agree on this one. I low-key kind of did doubt Malik Willis. I didn't think he was gonna play that good against the Colts. He got the win. Titans, like you said, aren't that great of a team, which sucks because my boy Tony Pollard is on the team, and Tony Pollard is a player that I love fucking Tony Pollard because the minute he fucking left, our run game went to shit. But now, I am gonna have to take the Packers to take the win on this one. Up next, we have this game's gonna be so bad too. The Panthers versus the Raiders.
This one, it feels obvious. Unless Andy Dalton turns back the clock to TCU and his prime Bengal days, Raiders are taking it. Uncle Rico, Gardner Minshew, man. Minshew Mania taking over.
You too?
I'm going to have to also go with the Raiders here. They surprised everybody beating the Ravens in week 2. You know what I mean? So Carolina Panthers look so rough this year. And, they benched Bryce Young, which is, causing some concern, obviously. I don't think, Sam Darnold's kind of a game manager. I think the Raiders are going to be a little bit more ready to play than the Panthers. So I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Raiders.
Yeah, this one, my brother said it best actually. He said it that it feels like whoever's gonna play the Panthers is gonna be a default win because they're so bad, they're just horrible. Easy win for the Raiders. Up next, we got the Dolphins versus the Seahawks.
This one also pretty close. We gotta see how Skylar Thompson fares. Seahawks have looked solid. They haven't had really major issues unless Geno Smith is on and off, which he tends to be. I still think Seahawks will sneak away with it just a little bit because of the Dolphins question mark at quarterback.
You Ethan?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the Seahawks too. You know what I mean? I feel like even with Tua, the Seahawks, they're just like one of those sneaky teams. Kind of like I said with the Patriots, you know, sleeper team every year. They always have good coaching there. You know, they got rid of Pete Carroll, or Pete Carroll retired,
Yeah.
and they brought in the defensive coordinator of Baltimore, Mike McDonald, and it looks like his scheme is working well there too. So I don't see any reason why they should win this game. I'm gonna have to go and take Seattle.
And then, unfortunately, yes, Tua's hurt again. So you're saying that even if Tua was with the Dolphins, you'll still take the Seahawks?
I do think so. I do think that just because of how rough they looked against Buffalo. And I think that, you know, Seattle and Buffalo kind of run like similar defense schemes. So I think that, you know, Seattle would you know, beat them even with Tua.
I feel like if Tua was with the team, I would have taken the Dolphins. But Skylar Thompson's in with the team. Not doubting Skylar Thompson yet, but I don't think he's going to click the first game he's going to play with them. I have the Seahawks taking this one. Up next, we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Go ahead, Nate.
This one again is close like the last have been. If Cardinals play like they did last week, they could get it away. But with how the Lions have been playing steadily, they lost close to the Bucks. I feel like Lions might barely get away with it, but again, it depends on how the Cardinals do.
You didn't, Ethan?
So the Cardinals tore us to shreds last week. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? They looked really solid. You know, even in that loss to Buffalo in Week 1, they looked great, and they didn't even get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved in that game. So I do think that the Cardinals are another, you know, sleeper team. They're going on early into the year. I think they're going to go ahead and take the upset here. You know, the Lions, I think in Week 2 looked a little bit more unprepared. You know, Week 1, they played physical and they beat us to the ground. I think Week 2 they played a little bit rough and they weren't ready for the Buccaneers air attack and just everything that was, you know, going on with Baker Mayfield. You know, he was having a game, so I'm proud of him. You know, former Ram. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the Cardinals here.
You're going to take the Cardinals. For here, I think Cardinals beating the Rams, I'm not going to say like the fluke as in like they're a bad team that got a lucky win. Maybe they are a good team. But when you're playing division rivals, it's something different. It's blood, lust, and everything. Like, you want to fucking murk them. I feel like the Lions are going to take this one, though. Maybe a good game. Maybe it'll be right down the wire, 26-24 maybe. But I feel like the Lions are going to take this one easily. Up next, we got the Ravens versus Cowboys. Go for it, Nate.
You don't even say your pick, man. We already know who you're gonna pick.
Yeah.
This one's too close to call too. Both these teams have looked good but questionable at the same time. If Lamar Jackson works the Cowboys defense with his legs, they might be able to get it. But if the Cowboys defense is great like it has been for the past couple of years, they could get it. But I'm gonna go with the Ravens, just out of pure hatred of the Cowboys.
Okay, go you, Nate. Ethan.
So for me, I'm going to have to go ahead and take Dallas. I think that last week they were just unprepared going into their game against the Saints. I think that, you know, I always see Dallas, you know, sometimes they lose these games like this, and the next week they always come in a little bit with a fire, you know, under them. So I think that they're going to be a lot more prepared than the Ravens. You know, Baltimore, I feel like that loss against Las Vegas was just unexcusable. You know what I mean? They blew a 10-point lead. I think it was 16-6. I remember at one point. So I feel like they're gonna come in and just not. It'll be a close game, but I do think that, you know, Dallas in the end is gonna go ahead and take the game.
So I didn't want to talk about the past game, but I was actually really excited. I love morning games. I don't know about you guys, but I really love morning games. I work Sunday graveyards. The whole purpose of the reason why I do that is so I can watch football. But the morning games are perfect because I have like the rest of the day to myself and enough time to take a nap before and then make it an easy graveyard, which last night was an easy graveyard, thank God. But I don't work graveyards for them to fucking lose by like 22 points, bro. Oh my God, that game was so bad.
Bro gets tortured at work only to get tortured more when the Cowboys get their ass kicked.
No, the only thing saving me right now was the fact that it was an easy graveyard. You know what? I honestly don't remember if I said this last episode, but I said it earlier. I thought this game was going to be a toss-up. Cowboys versus Saints. Both had high-power offense. Cowboys looked good against the Browns. Defense looked pretty good. Offense looked good. They just kind of weren't finishing drives. I hate to say it, but it's a fucking Cowboy thing. Week 2, Cowboys had some hype against them. They shot the bed. And it sucks because I actually saw a post that low-key kind of reminded me. Dak Prescott, low-key, always kind of like turns into a gunslinger when he takes on the Saints. Not this fucking game. Not this fucking game. But I can't shit on Dak Prescott. He actually did play pretty decently well. One of the picks wasn't his fault. Jalen Brooks, I guess, moment was too big for him. Couldn't perform under the lights. Just slipped and threw and caused the interception.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was completely on Dak. I'm so ass. But the biggest concern here was defense. Both on tackling. Tackling was just looked horrible. I've seen players literally making eye contact to Malvin Kamara, completely missing him. I also feel like it was play calling as well. First game we saw Demarion Overshown, and I'm not saying it because he's a Longhorn. No, like I'm excited to see him as a Cowboy, especially as a linebacker. Our linebackers looked weak. He, on the first game against the Browns, he was everywhere. He even took down Deshaun Watson, straight angling him, fucking
That's not a
perfect
huge
closing
accomplishment.
speed.
It's Deshaun Watson.
Alright, but Deshaun Watson's fast. But
Fast with massage artists for sure.
But DeMar Evershown looked good, and in the second week he was only in there for like 18 snaps. So I don't know what the fuck happened. We shot the bed. Cowboys got clocked. But I said it in the first episode, I'm always going to pick the Cowboys. I don't want to jinx them. It's not that I think they're the super team. I'm actually really nervous for this game, but I got the Cowboys winning this one. And then up next, we got 49ers versus your Rams.
You want him to go first or me again?
You go first.
This one, I feel like Rams got killed by the Cardinals last week. If that doesn't say anything, I don't know what 49ers are taking it.
So for me, I'm going to have to go ahead and take, I'm going to stay confident in my team. I think the 49ers, they look just as, shaky as we do, with their injury concerns and everything. They didn't play as good as they did, as they wanted to, in week 2. I told my uncle this earlier, but I said that, if we're doing bad and we go down, as long as they go down with us, I'll be happy about the season. So I'll go ahead and take us, for this game.
That's real as fuck, bro. Real as fuck. For this game, again, another toss-up. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's a division rival. Usually it's war. I hate the Niners. And actually, I love the Rams just because of LA. I'm a Dodger fan. And because of this fool. Again, fucking hate the Niners. Fortunately, I got the Niners winning this one. But I'll be rooting for the Rams. Hopefully, they take them out. And then for the Sunday Night Football game, we got the Chiefs taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
I have no thoughts on I have no hopes in the Falcons winning. I know the refs are going to keep sucking off the Chiefs. That and the Falcons offense just straight up sucks. I don't know what's up with Kirk Cousins, but Chiefs are taking it. I'm not hoping for the Falcons at all.
I'm going to have to agree too, you know what I mean? The Falcons, they do look a little bit rough. I don't know what's going on with Kirk Cousins there. Maybe there's going to be whispers of starting Michael Penix soon. Who knows? I think the Chiefs, my beloved Chiefs, they're always doing good.
Bandwagon over here.
Not even bandwagon. I just, I support them just because, they always help us out in beating the 49ers, of course. You know what I mean?
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair.
So, yeah, they're keeping it rolling, a close win against the Bengals. I think, that just shows the integrity of the team. They always find a way to fucking win. Patrick Mahomes had 2 interceptions there. I think that, that says a lot about them. They managed to slip away. So it's against the Falcons, obviously a team that doesn't look too good.
The only good thing about them, like I said earlier, is the defense, man. If defense can contain them, the refs will bail them out.
So, yeah, I'm saying with that being said, I take the Chiefs.
Yeah, this was a no-brainer. Chiefs unfortunately should easily take this one. I didn't get to compliment it though. I do like your Bijan jersey. I don't like it's red and black, but I always appreciate a Texas Longhorn. But sorry, buddy. Chiefs gonna take this one.
Don't worry about it, man.
And then for this week, I guess it's gonna be a little awkward for scores. But for the next Monday Night Football, it's actually gonna be 2 games. First off, Jaguars versus Bills. Go ahead, Nate.
So that one, Jaguars haven't been looking like themselves. Like the great team we thought they were going to be 2 years ago when Trevor Lawrence was great. So I got the Bills taking it, especially because how they demolished the Dolphins last week and how great Josh Allen has been without Stephon Diggs. I feel like Bills are going to take it.
Do you think?
I got to agree with him. Buffalo's a team that I've been a little bit high on this year. I picked them last week against the Dolphins and they, completely obliterated them. So I think, the receivers over there, they drafted a couple of them. Keon Coleman, I'm big on him. Khalil Shakir. They got a bunch of, solid guys over there, to replace Stephon Diggs. Football's a game of, next man up. So that's what they did there, and they're keeping the train rolling. So it's Buffalo easily, I think.
Yeah, I feel like, actually I'm low-key kind of excited for this game because it's a redemption game for both squads. Jaguars had a lot of hype behind them. Has not gained anything from that hype at all. They've been looking pretty bad. Bills looked good in the first game. They beat the Cardinals, but it was a squeezed out, barely past the win. And then they got clapped. They ended up clapping the Dolphins. I'm sorry, I was about to say the opposite. They ended up clapping the Dolphins. They looked pretty good. But I think the Bills are going to take this one, but don't be surprised if the Jaguars look good. I feel like this is going to be the game where Jaguars start to look good. After that, we got another beloved NFC East rival, Commanders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Commanders, the only good thing about them is about Jaden Daniels. Yeah, Bengals contain Jaden Daniels, which I think they have a good shot at the win. And I think just Bengals are a better, well-rounded team, so I'll take the Bengals.
I also gotta take the Bengals. You know, they looked really good week 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs there. 2 interceptions against Joe Burrow. You know, they really played good. I mean, 2 interceptions against Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, they played really good against the Chiefs offense. So I think that they shouldn't really have any problems with the Commanders. Besides maybe Jaden Daniels, you know, getting out of that pocket. But I think that the rest of the Commanders, you know, there's some holes, you know, there. So I feel like Bengals should be able to win this game, man. It's in the jungle, so.
I think I'm going to pick this one based on manifestation that they beat my beloved NFC East rival. I got the Bengals on this one. Bengals looked good last week. They, again, lost. I don't know if it was the last ref call was a little controversial. I feel like it was pass interference.
I agree with that.
I don't care anymore, dude. I don't care anything what the refs say about the Chiefs. I know it's just to help the Chiefs. Fuck Taylor Swift, by the way.
Me personally, I feel like it was pass interference. I feel like it was a good call, but I think this is where the Bengals look good and get the first win.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that being said, that actually finishes up our Week 3 picks. But for our last topic, I guess we could bring up college football. Your NMSU Aggies, we're going to start bringing up NMSU again. He's an NMSU fan. I have no clue why I didn't bring it up. We have the CUSA rivals, NMSU playing on Sam Houston State. What do you think, bro?
I think it should be a close game. You know, NMSU, aside from last week, has played some close games against the teams they played. They played against a really good game against Liberty, where they just let it slip away from their hands. They lost 30-24 in that game. So I think that they should be, you know, ready to play. You know, coming back against Sam Houston, you know, a lesser team. So yeah, I think they'll hopefully they take the win in that one.
And then for my UTEP Miners, do you consider yourself a UTEP Miner fan?
I don't hate them, but I don't love them. I'm just like in the middle of them. Like I'll support them because obviously hometown team and everything. So I'll support them.
Makes sense. But UTEP actually takes on Colorado State. Now for Colorado State's aspect, I haven't heard anything good from them whatsoever.
It's hit or miss with them. They're either good, they're either bad, or just whatever.
Well, they actually took on my Texas Longhorns, but they got clapped. But Texas Longhorns, obviously #1 ranked team. This is UTEP. UTEP currently 0-3. I don't know what to expect for this one at this point because they looked bad against Liberty to begin with. I wasn't expecting a win against Liberty. But they only put up 10 points again. It's starting to look really rough for my UTEP Miners and Scotty Walden. But I'm not counting him out yet. If you look at fucking UTEP football, like comments and shit, every old Paso wins like counting him out. I think you guys need relax. Like, relax. It's his first fucking year. Relax, bro.
First year with an FBS team, he's got to give him a chance. I think after this year he'll be better, but I can't say how much better.
Coaches struggle in the first year, and a lot of those the players that he brought from Austin Peay or Austin P. Pay, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it. They're young. A lot of them are juniors and sophomores. Javon Jackson, Trey Goodman, they're coming. Skylar Locklear. I love Skylar Locklear, low key. I low key wanted Cade McConnell to start off the year, but Skylar Locklear looked good against Southern Utah. Liberty, they struggled.
He was questionable in Nebraska. He had his moments, but then again, that's Nebraska.
No, I don't know. I think Nebraska just had a good ass D line because they beat the shit out of Colorado too.
That's true.
But UTEP takes on Colorado State. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to say they're going to lose, but I'm pretty sure you can tell by my body language how I feel about it. After that, we got your Michigan Wolverines taking on USC. Now, that's a good one. How do you feel about that one?
It's going to be a good matchup in prime time at 5:30, you know, in the evening. It's going to be, I think it's going to be like an even game, hopefully. You know, it could be rough for us, you know, depending on the quarterback play, as I referred to earlier. You know, USC looks like a really good team this year. They beat the LSU Tigers, you know, in prime time in Las Vegas earlier in the year. And they've had like a lot of, you know, they've looked good, you know, a lot of hype going into the year. So hopefully, you know, we can get ourselves together and hopefully orgy starts, I'm telling you. You know, we need to put him in there.
He just loves orgies, man. That's it. Gay ones, to be specific.
We need to put him in there. And hopefully we get the W. I'll go ahead and take them, but I think it'll be a close game.
And last but not least, we got our Texas Longhorns, #1 ranked Texas Longhorns. Having an easy one, taking on LA Monroe. Arch Manning is going to get the start. Quinn Ewers is out with his abdominal strain. How do you feel about the game?
I feel like they're going to whoop that booty, pun intended, on General Booty. Greatest quarterback name in history, by the way. So I feel like General Booty and the team's going to get their booty whipped no matter what.
I feel like my other teams is getting me so traumatized that I don't like saying they're going to win. Like fucking Cowboys, Dodgers. UTEP have no matches, right? But like Cowboys and Dodgers usually get my hopes up. UTEP doesn't get my hopes up to begin with. So I don't want to say they're going to win, but I have good hopes in this game. Other than that should be it.
All right.
My name is XiX from XiX Sports Network.
I'm Nate Rivers, Pro Wrestling Legacy commentator. See y'all Battlestar Mountain this week.
Ethan, for mistaking.
All
for
is gonna be
Bacon.
posted after Battlestar Mountain.
Oh.
No, I'm wrong. Before Battlestar Mountain. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm Ethan for mistaking for bacon.
And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time with week 4. All right, I rushed.